Okay, so picture this. You're walking along one of those historic canals in Amsterdam, right? And the air is just filled with this sweet floral scent. And right in front of you are these barges just bursting with the most colorful flowers you can imagine. Well, that's the Bloemenmarkt, one of the city's most famous symbols. But is it really a fragrant paradise? Or is it, something a little more complicated? Let's get into it.
First up, we really have to understand what makes this place so special to begin with. I mean, it's not just any old market. It's a real piece of living history, literally bobbing on the water of the Singel Canal. And the name? It's wonderfully simple. In Dutch, Bloemenmarkt is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like, a flower market. But that simplicity hides a pretty amazing and unique feature.
Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just a market that's set up next to a canal. The shops themselves are actually housed on barges. It's a throwback to the old days when flowers and plants were brought into the city on boats, and believe it or not, it's the very last one of its kind. That makes it a truly one-of-a-kind spot.
But the market's whole identity has done a complete 180 over the years. It started way back in the 19th century as a really practical, down-to-earth place where locals, Amsterdammers, would buy fresh-cut flowers for their homes. But then as Amsterdam blew up into this global tourist destination, the market had to adapt, and its focus shifted big time. It went from serving locals to wowing visitors, and the main thing people started buying wasn't fresh flowers anymore, but those super famous Dutch tulip bulbs.
And that shift? Well, that brings us right to the heart of the issue. That romantic image we all have of the market sometimes clashes, pretty hard, with the modern reality that visitors find. And you really don't have to look far to find stories just like this one. This quote from a big travel forum really captures a common feeling: disappointment. People show up expecting this floral wonderland, and, well, sometimes they leave feeling like they've walked right into a tourist trap. So, what are the actual things you need to watch out for if you're thinking about going? What's the real deal?
All right, if you're actually planning to buy something, this is what you absolutely need to know. First, timing is everything. Seriously, buying tulip bulbs in, say, June is a huge mistake. They're probably 10-month-old leftovers from last season. The best time to buy and plant is in the fall. Second, there are rules about importing them. If you want to take bulbs home to a country like the US, you need an official certificate to get through customs. If you don't have it, they're probably getting tossed. Third, be a little skeptical about quality. It's a super common complaint that those beautifully packaged bulbs might not bloom like the picture, or you'll get a totally different color. And finally, just remember what the market is now. It's as much a souvenir shop as it is a flower market. You're going to see just as many wooden clogs and wheels of cheese as you will actual flowers.
Now, to really get why tulips are such a massive deal here, we've got to take a huge leap back in time to this period of pure, unadulterated madness called tulip mania. Okay, so in the 1630s, the Netherlands went absolutely bonkers for tulips. They weren't just flowers, they were like the ultimate luxury item, a sign of incredible wealth. Prices just went through the roof as people started speculating, trading contracts for bulbs they hadn't even seen. It was one of the first big speculative bubbles in history, and when it popped in 1637, it was a financial disaster. That whole obsession is just baked right into Dutch culture.
And here is the star of that whole crazy show, the Semper Augustus tulip. At the peak of all the madness, a single one of these bulbs could cost you more than a mansion in Amsterdam. I mean, that just shows you how intense this whole thing got. It's wild.
So how does all that history and romance play out in the real world today? Let's jump back to the present, where the Bloemenmarkt sits in a city that's become one of the biggest tourist destinations on the planet.
The numbers are just staggering. Amsterdam gets over 17 million visitors every single year. And just look at this breakdown. Almost 80% of the people staying overnight are international. This huge wave of people is the world the Bloemenmarkt lives in now.
And this heat map right here tells you everything you need to know about its location. Those bright red spots, that's where the most hotels are packed together. And the Bloemenmarkt is right in the middle of it all. It's not on the edge of town, it's at the absolute epicenter of Amsterdam tourism.
So after all that, the amazing history, the modern-day problems, the crowds, what's the final word on the Bloemenmarkt? What's the takeaway? This is the million-dollar question for any traveler, right? Is this charming piece of floating history a must-see, or has it turned into a place you should just skip?
The answer is you should totally go, but you need to visit like a pro. First, manage your expectations. Think of it less like a botanical garden and more like a historic photo op with a flower theme. If you do want to buy bulbs, be smart about it.
Go in the fall and look for that official certificate on a sealed package. And please, check your home country's rules before you buy anything. And finally, use the market as a starting point. It's surrounded by amazing history, like the super peaceful Begigenhof courtyard, which is just a few steps away.
So, what is the Bloemenmarkt in the end? Is it a piece of history floating on a canal, or is it a really clever tourist trap? Honestly, the truth is, it's kind of both. It's this complex, beautiful, and flawed piece of Amsterdam's story floating right there on the water for you to see and decide for yourself.